Good afternoon. Today I'm very happy to welcome Mrs. Millena Gay. She's an actress and writer, director, producer, talking us from the United States. How are you, Millena? Thank you very much for joining the live.
I'm doing very well. Thank you. Thank you for asking. How are you today?
Great to have. Very good. Thank God, everything is fine. Milena, first I want to ask you about your beginnings. How did you got interested into the arts, and what did you study, and how did you get your first break?
Actually, I went to school to be an international corporate attorney with a concentration on the Spanish speaking countries. So it was never intended for me to be an actress or in the entertainment industry. But my mother is actually the one who started me on this trajectory because, as we all know, law school is difficult. And I went to the University of Virginia and I was a pre law major. So, with a double major, Spanish and foreign affairs, and in that curriculum, it was just a lot going on. So, in that year off, I entered a beauty pageant, and at my mother's behest and insistence, I entered that pageant, and for my talent, I did a dramatic interpretation of a speech that Sojourner Truth gave. And in that dramatic interpretation, I didn't just, read a speech. I actually performed on stage. I had a whole wardrobe change. I had props. It was a whole thing. And I won that beauty pageant with the experience of transforming into Sojourner Truth and all of that. That really is what got me into like, wow, this is acting. This is what it is. The research, the study, the really getting into character. I felt a kinship to it. I felt drawn to it. And so I said, let me just give this a shot for this year off that I'm taking. And so I did. And so I went back and forth. I'm from Upper Marlboro, Maryland. And so I would go back and forth to New York. And, I had a boyfriend at the time who lived in New York. So I literally ripped pages out of the yellow pages and copied casting directors, agents, managers, and shows in New York. And at that time, you could do that because there was yellow pages. This is way back in the 90s. And so that's what I did. And I sent my pictures to the listings in the yellow pages in the newspaper. And then I started getting calls. And it was to be background on New York Undercover, USA Live, several shows. And that gave me the experience of being on set and learning what it really takes firsthand to be an actor. And then I said, wow, I really like this. So I moved to New York and started taking acting classes so that I could be the best at it. And from there, my big break first came when I landed a role on the soap opera, on the ABC soap opera, One Life to Live. And I played the role of Nora's legal assistant, which, my family absolutely loved because I was like, I'm not a lawyer all the way, but I play one on TV. So that was something. And then it went on from there. I was on One Life to Live, then All My Children, and then went on to Guiding Light. And after that, I moved out to Los Angeles and landed a role on General Hospital as Talia, the manager of the Metro Court Hotel. And then after that, a role on Young and the Restless as Marjorie Curtis. So my experience is in the soap opera world. But of course, I've done loads of commercials. They're still running right now for Meaningful Beauty, Cindy Crawford. The movies are still out. They're on YouTube. They're everywhere. Sunday School Musical. I play the mother of the lead character. And then on this one, Jessica Sinclair's Thug Love, I auditioned for the role of the therapist. And I was cast as the lead. So it just, life has a way of taking us on a journey that we never expect.
For sure. And I want to ask you before we move to another aspect of your work about working on operas. What are the difficulties you faced as an actress? I imagine a lot of dialogue and heavy production schedule. What can you tell us about these? Because back home in my country, Egypt, The Bold and the Beautiful was very popular, and we used to invite their actors to the film festival, because we didn't have a television festival in Egypt. So tell me about your experience about doing a character in a soap opera, and what are the pluses and minuses and challenges?
Okay, absolutely. Well, the funniest thing I'm going to share with you, I absolutely love The Bold and the Beautiful. I have a secret addiction, which is I no matter what is happening every day, I subscribe to Paramount Plus specifically so that I can watch Bold and the Beautiful every single day. And that's the one I've never been on, but I love it. So I understand, loving Bold and Beautiful. The so being a soap opera actress, it has its major challenges, and the biggest challenge is that the scripts are like this, like this. They're so super thick, and they're every single day. They're new scripts because they have to keep coming, and you actually have to learn those lines. I found it easier for me to learn all of the lines just because it was just easier for me to know everybody else's lines and mine so that I could, jump in at the right time and, all of that. Some people find other methods, easier, trigger words, things like that. So the most challenging is having to memorize that much, but at the end of the day, it's real simple. Either I do it and do it well, or someone else will. So it depends on how bad you want it. So I really enjoyed my job as a soap opera actress, and so you just learn the lines and keep going. It's a lot of it's stressful because you only get 1 to 2 takes, and you have to be great in those 2 takes. And now as a director, I appreciate more when actors are one take wonders, as we call them, where because time is money and every moment on set that's spent doing something else that's not what it's supposed it costs. And I'm not going to have Millena Gay acting school on set. I come from a world of you are prepared, you're 100% prepared, you arrive to set, you do your job, and you're done. I remember there were days on General Hospital, I was there 45 minutes. That's it. From the time I pulled into the lot, went into hair and makeup, got into my wardrobe, was on set, did my job, and left. 45 minutes. So it's a very, very fast paced world. So that you don't really have a chance to, get to know a lot of people, and the camaraderie isn't there like on a set on a long film shoot or something like that, because you're there only when your character is there on those specific days. So that's kind of the downside of not being able to hang out with everybody. Um, the good side is you know your job. You're either a really good actor or actress, or you're not working on a soap opera because no one has time. I hope I
Yes.
answered your question.
So yes, yes, this is great. Because I know it's a very hectic soap operas because they are continuous, and you cannot do another project along with, because sometimes if actors used to shoot films in the morning and they have a theater at night, but I think with soap opera is very difficult, especially you know. But I want to ask you, I've seen that you have a company called Honey Peach, if I'm
Yes.
correct,
Yes.
and it was established maybe in 13 years ago in
Yep.
2010. And I want to tell you, when did you think about starting this company? What did drive you to start your own company, and what is the focus of the subjects uh, uh, you are presenting?
Well, what started me to start my own company was because I was getting requests to produce projects, to produce sizzle reels, to just produce. And at first, I was like, I'm not a producer, I'm an actress. And people kept saying, No, you're a producer. I was like, No, I'm not. I am an actress. And the reality is because I love contracts, because that's my legal training. I love looking at contracts and drafting contracts. And I love spreadsheets. They just give me life. I know it's really a nerdy thing, but I enjoy these kinds of things. And as a producer, all of those are incorporated into the development and the pre-production process. So I really, really enjoy that. And so it comes very easily and naturally to me. Um, let's see, what was the rest of your question? I'm so sorry.
Yes, I was asking what was the focus you would like to present through the projects of the company?
Okay, so the production company, it was like I said, because people were asking me to do things, and then as you know, as an actress, I love acting, and it incorporates all of those things. Producing projects is just bringing the project to fruition. So since I'm doing these things, Dolly Madison and Bitter Inheritance, I might as well, put it under an umbrella. And what should that umbrella be? So I was trying to think of a name. I was like, I don't want the Millena Gay Corporation. That's kind of I wanted to do something that's memorable, something that you can, that's catchy. And I said, Honey Peach. Well, Peaches was my nickname in high school. I guess my peaches and cream complexion, I don't know. So, but that was one of my nicknames, Peaches. And then actually Honey is the color of my makeup. Honey color makeup. So I was like, honey goes on peaches and cream complexion. I don't know. Honey peaches, peach honey. I don't know. I just, it's like, okay, this sounds cool. It's a reflection of me. And that's as simple and basic as where the name came from. And then I just started, continuing on doing projects under that banner. And I've done 8 projects now. So
Yes,
it's quite interesting.
great. Tell me, Milena, since we are right now in the middle of actors and writers strike, tell me, what do you think of these strikes, and are they fruitful for artists to to gain their own rights, or it is just a wave and a media wave, and everybody goes home and nothing is happening? I mean, in the system of the industry.
So right now we're at a major standstill. What it comes down to is, as actors, we own the rights to our name, our likeness. We own our own individuality. One of the basic sticking points is that, so the producers want to be able to hire, and as a producer, so it's very tricky because I am an actress, producer, and director, but I'm an actress first. And so I stand in solidarity with my union. Let me just start with that. What one of the major sticking points is, for example, you could pay someone a half a day of work as a background actor, right? A half a day, which is like 50, $60 and like $80, something like that, for a half a day and one time, and then make a digitalized image of them and be able to use that image forever, of them forever, in any and every other project forever, without letting them know and without paying them, forever. And that's one of the biggest things that the union is saying, no, you cannot do that. You don't get to take a picture of me and then use it in whatever you want to forever and ever. Don't tell me and then don't pay me. Unacceptable. But that's what the studios want. There are a long list of just things that, doing self tapes, that it can be so arduous, because it used to be a time when we just go in as an actor, you know your lines, you rehearse, and that's it. But now with the age of self tapes, we have to be the camera person, we have to be the sound person, we have to do lighting, we have to make sure our wardrobe is right, we have to do hair and makeup in addition to the lines. We have to do all this, and then they want to have, do it the next day. It's unrealistic to now expect people who've been trained in one profession to have it all in perfection, so that they can sit back and watch these. I mean, and there's an expectation, but let's be realistic about it. One day turnarounds, that's not fair. Over the weekend, submitting something, getting an audition at 5 o'clock on a Friday to be submitted by 5 o'clock on Sunday, that's not fair. As actors, we're human beings and we work, and we deserve to have work, we deserve to have rest. So we just want to be treated fairly. And at this point, these are main sticking points, because we're not being treated fairly. And with the advent of AI, oh my gosh, I mean, AI is changing the game in a good way, but for actors, it's making it very tough, and for writers as well, because it's going to come to a point, which is, it could possibly happen, which is what we're fighting against, where AI writes a script and then an AI actor robot does the work. And so then everything, and as the consumer, people are just watching it, but We are not, as human beings, allowed to thrive in our profession. A human being writer needs to write. A human being actor needs to act. A human being director needs to direct. Period. The end. And everyone be paid fairly according to what is considered a fair wage for that industry. Period. The end. That's what we're fighting for. Just to be treated fairly and equally in this advent of AI. So
Yeah,
it's going to go on for a long time, because from what I understand, both sides are at a standstill. The studios want what the studios want, the actors want what the actors want, and we're standing in solidarity with the writers. And it's 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 gonna be something.
yeah. Milena, I want to ask you, you've been in different artistic practice, and I want to ask you, do you have like a dream project or a dream character you'd like to play, either through your company or by collaborating with somebody else?
That's no one has ever asked me that question, and the answer is yes. So I love action movies, and I would love, love, love. And I grew up loving Wonder Woman and the Bionic Woman. They were and Charlie's Angels. They were my, if I could just be all of them, that would be fantastic. So a sci-fi action movie with a combination of Wonder Woman and the Bionic Woman, and just fighting the evildoers and just saving humanity and saving the world. That would be absolutely ideal. And if I could have a posse like Charlie's Angels with it, oh man, that would be wonderful. But I look, for example, Jane Kennedy. I love Jane Kennedy. Her talent is just amazing. She's so beautiful. She actually was in the comic book. She played Nubia, which is Wonder Woman's twin sister. So there is a Black Wonder Woman. And I never knew that until Jane and I became very close, and we started, she shared this, that in the books, if you look, she is actually, the character looks just like her. So I would love to play like a Wonder Woman, and actually have like Jane be like the wizard, the great, leading me, guiding me to the next level. I mean, that would be my ideal. That would be my ideal.
Hopefully, yes. And you reminded me when we were kids at school watching $6 Million Men and Bionic Woman. We used to imitate them by running slowly and doing the voice, when we were young kids at school. But yeah, I
Exactly.
hope
See,
also
you
they
remember?
uh, yeah, yeah, they remake as well Bionic Woman and for a film or something. Because I used to love Lindsay Wagner, the actress, and a
Yeah.
couple of months ago, I was watching again a film she did with Sylvester Stallone, Nighthawks, and I was reading about it because I watched it maybe when it was new, maybe in the 80s, and her role was cut. And at the time, because she was a television star, I was wondering why she had a very small role with Sylvester Stallone and Rutger Hauer, and it is one of the best films, that so what's happening in international terrorism before it happens, and it took place in New York, and yeah, yeah, she had a very big impact on us, Lindsay Wagner and Lee Majors, the $6 Million Man. I remember very well. Milena, I want to thank you very much for joining the live today, and I wish you all the best as an actress and also as a writer, director, producer through your company. And I hope you can come back again when you have a new project to announce, or you can have a live with you from the red carpet, something like that.
Well, thank you. I look forward to doing that. And I actually do have a new project coming out. I can't talk about it right at this moment because of the
Sure.
strike, but it's I can tell you it's called Something About Mother. It's a new project that I directed, and it's written by Noreen McClendon, and it is fantastic. So we're in post
Great.
production right now, but I would love to come back at a later time and tell you all about it.
For sure. For sure. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. And enjoy the rest of the afternoon, and we keep in touch.
Thank you so much, Sherif. You do
Thank
the
you.
same.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a good day. Take care.
You
Bye
too.
bye.
Bye bye.